the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
So welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am your host, Andre Quintana, and I am here in my studio in Raleigh, North Carolina, with a special guest at the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. And today we have Michelle Robbins. She is an account manager with eAssist, and I just can't wait till our conversation. How are you today, Michelle?
I am very well, Andre. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this is such a pleasure. And I want to start this show by letting people know, and maybe we can just talk about this, about what an amazing event we attended this weekend together. Could you tell us?
Oh, the summit.
Yes.
The summit was wonderful. Florida was great, even though it rained on us a lot of times. But all the atmosphere with Disney all around us and everything was really added to that experience. But the summit was very, very enjoyable. It was my second year attending the summit. And there was a lot of new people who spoke that we didn't have a chance to listen to before, and it was very enjoyable. We loved Dr. Blair, and all of the other speakers. It was just really great.
That's great. This was my first time. I honestly did not know what to expect, and I was blown away because I got to talk in a short segment with Dr. Blair. And if you go back and listen to episode 10, you would hear a kind of like a unique show, because that one to me was preparing the audience to know that I was traveling to Orlando, got there and got to interview a couple of key people in the company. Well, everybody's key in the company because you guys are all terrific. But then I got a chance to do the interview with Dr. Blair, which I was hoping I could. And it was just great. The rain, yes, you're right. It rains a little bit hard at times. Wow, Florida has some really good showers. But that is why they call it the Sunshine State as well, because the sunshine always has to come out. The sun always has to come out after a good shower, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. Always.
And speaking of sunshine, that is what eAssist does, because if you feel like these dental claims are raining on you and they're falling behind and you can't see, the visibility is rough in your practice. If you feel all that is happening to you, guess what? There is Michelle here for you. Michelle, tell everybody a little bit about you. What type of work you did in a dental office, how you got all your experience, and what great things you're doing for eAssist.
Alrighty. Well, I've been a dental assistant or in the dental field for a very long time, actually. I graduated with my AA degree in dental assisting in 1977, so I am kind of dating myself a little bit. So it's been 40 years that I've been in dentistry.
Wow.
I've worked in several different practices. I've worked in ortho. I've worked in general dentistry. And the last experience I had of the dental office was with perio. But I also have worked with Delta Dental of California for 16 years. So I have seen both sides of it. I've seen the private side and I've seen the corporate side of dentistry. And I take all of that experience and I use it for eAssist. And right now I'm an account manager for eAssist.
That's great. Some of the services that eAssist offers are dental insurance billing services. Obviously, that's a strong point. But they also manage patients' accounts receivable. There are some extra services that eAssist does. Is that something that you're involved with as well?
I am involved with a specialized team. I'm one of three ladies that is part of the SOS team, and we're kind of a specialized team a little bit. We're headed up by Melinda. She will get request from a regional manager that one of the dental offices in their region needs a little bit of help, and so we will go in there and try to clean up the accounts receivable or the accounts aging. and we're there for a little while, just kind of an in and out type of a thing. But we have been able to save several offices because of our team.
Yes. So now we're going to just find out a little bit more about you, because we could talk about dental claims all day long. You saw you heard how much we talked about it at Summit, right?
Yes.
And that was
Yes.
wonderful. We learned so much, but let's learn a little bit about you. When you got together with eAssist, when you joined eAssist, how did it happen? Was it a Google search?
It wasn't a Google search. I think it was actually Monster, possibly. But back in 2015, my husband and I relocated from Long Beach, California, to a small little city called San Dimas, California. And if anyone knows about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, that's where they had that silly movie. I was at San Dimas High School, so that's kind of our claim to fame. But we did move there, and because it was about 50 miles away from the office where I was working at, and if you know anything about California traffic, you don't want to be traveling 50 miles away from where you live. It's about 2 hours each way. So I did quit my job, and I found myself kind of suddenly unemployed. My husband works from home, so all he needed was the internet, so he was already set up. But I didn't have anything new to go to, and so I was looking around. I think it was Monster, and found that eAssist Dental Solutions ad. And of course, I didn't think that it was even it was too good to be true. It just sounded, work from home. Wow, well, what a wonderful thing to be able to do and have a flexible schedule and be your own boss type of a thing. And so I went ahead and applied, and Devonay, she answered my email like the next day. I had an interview with her the next day after that. And I think it was within a month's time that I actually got my first assignment. My proficiency was mostly with soft dent, and so I was assigned to an office right away, and I found myself in one office, and then two offices, and then finally with three offices by the end of the year. And so that was in, like I said, that was in March of 2015 when I started. And so I worked my way up to account executive at that point. So in 2016, unfortunately, I had breast cancer, and I had surgery, radiation treatment, and had a lot of appointments to go to, but with the flexibility of the eAssist and making up my own schedule, I was able to work through that. And I have great friends that helped me out as far as doing my work for me, helping to post my payments, helping to do other things. And it's just been a great experience working for eAssist for the past 2.5 years.
Wow. And you're doing much better today, right, Michelle?
Much better, yes. I'm cancer-free now. Thank you.
That is a blessing. And, I just want to go back to that, because that was one of the questions that I really wanted to ask you, how eAssist may have changed your life. So when you were going through this difficult time in your life, if you had been working, say, in a corporate setting, which is not a bad thing. We have many of us. I actually do a little bit of both. I spend time in a dental office, full time actually, and then I do this great work with eAssist. But if you had been in a different setting versus working from home, things would have been a little different, right?
Definitely. With my radiation treatments, I had 4 weeks of those treatments, and I was there every day. And just driving to and from, it took a couple of hours out of my day every day, and that would have been hard if I was working in a regular dental office and having my other coworkers depend upon me not being there. And so I'm just so thankful that eAssist was in my life at the time, and that I could make up my own schedule, be flexible, work up until the time that I needed to leave for the appointment, and then come back, and nothing had been affected at all. It was just it was a very easy time for me to have to go through this difficult time, if that's a way of saying that, because eAssist has just been so wonderful for me.
Oh, when I started to get involved with eAssist, the people that I spoke to, Sandy and Dr. Anderson and JC, and then the few ladies that I had interviewed on the podcast, right? But then I started to feel this sense of, wow, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know I'm in a good place. I know I'm in a good place. And I spoke about this when I had my time up at the conference, how good and thankful I was for being part of the team. But then when I got to meet most of you, every single one of you in person, I felt like, wow, this place, this company is just full of people that just supports each other all the way through, whether it's work related, personally. We saw Tanya and Rebecca share some tears receiving an award together, and all the work that they have done in dental together. It's just a beautiful thing to see. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree, Andre. We are like a family. We can call each other up. We can email each other. We can ask each other questions. There are so many people who are just so knowledgeable in what they do, and I personally am just learning new things every day. I did come from a perio background, so general dentistry isn't really my forte, but I've worked in nothing but general dentistry offices for the past 2.5 years, and I learned new things every day. And we can rely on each other. I did finally meet a girlfriend that I was working with for the past year and a half, and only talking with her on the phone, but I finally got to meet her in person at the summit, and it was just wonderful, like we'd known each other forever. And I know a lot of people can say the same thing, and we're just all family and all sisters, or well, there's brothers in there too, but we are just all just a family, and it's just a great experience for all of us.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned that, I had some things to talk about in the office, right? But since you touched on this, anyone listening out there for the first time, podcasting, what'll happen is that people are doing some search on the podcast apps. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And they may just be searching dental and getting on our program, very easily. That's what happens. That's how I found certain podcasts. Somebody listening out there in the dental world, what are some of the basic requirements needed to join the ESS family?
Well, you do have to have a dental background. There are people who may have been out there only for a couple of years, but it's very important that you have dental background, dental terminology, just a willingness to really be there for the office. We do have our own flexibility schedules, but we do have our own responsibilities that we have to be aware of. And there are some tests, and they're pretty stringent. I mean, Dr. Anderson is trying to get the best of the best, and we are out there and willing to do anything we can for these offices. Dr. Anderson stresses the message to Garcia, which means that you go above and beyond whatever it takes to do for these dental offices. We've all worked in dental offices. We all know what it's like to be in front of the patient, but you're having to deal with insurance companies and claims and that type of thing. And so the patient treatment sometimes can suffer, or just even the relationship with the patient can suffer because of all the admin stuff that goes on. So we are there for the offices as much as we possibly can be.
I think that's so true. And Dr. Anderson said so many things that really hit home with me because I spend, like I told you, a lot of time in the dental office, and I am very affected by the finances in a dental office. And he talked about fellow dentists struggling to make payroll and things like that. And I really just love how ESS comes to the rescue. Let's go now to the office, because it takes a lot of time to verify these claims and to ensure that just all the schedules are great and done properly, and also build relationships with patients. Your staff, will have time, and I'm talking about the staff in a dental office. I'm speaking now to the dental office listening to our show. They will have time to do the things that they need to do with the patients when eAssist takes over on everything else. How would you answer that?
That's exactly right. We can take it from start to finish as far as the patient admin part is concerned. We can do the verification of the insurance, so that we know that the dental office knows what insurance the patient has, what their benefits are, what their coverage is, even before they walk through the front door. We can take it the next step to submitting the claim for them, making sure that the claim is submitted correctly, and then checking up on that claim to making sure that it's processed and processed correctly. And then we can post the payment when it comes in, and if there is something that's wrong, we can appeal that. And that is everything that we can do that the office manager or the front office person does not have to worry about. And that means that they can concentrate on being with the patient and giving them 100% of their attention and not having to worry about the admin part of it. And so that's what eAssist does. We go in there and we take care of things for them so they don't have to worry about it.
Right. And I think that when you're in a successful dental office, which is what all dental offices are trying to be, successful in in one thing that we all have in common. If you're in dental, of course, there's going to be some dental offices that may not have this as their primary goal. But to me, it seems like the majority wants to really help the patient. And so there isn't enough time to do all the things that you need to do, let's say for the dentist and the staff, to be able to help the patients and then also take care of everything to do in the office and then say, wow, we're overwhelmed, or we've done all of this and we're doing okay. It's really tough. There's not enough time in a day. And it just seems like with all of the tools that we have in place at eAssist, that it makes the office task a lot easier. How would you comment on that?
I totally agree with that, Andre, because we even work when the office is closed. We can work during the evening hours, on the weekends. We do everything behind the scenes so that the office doesn't have to worry about it. They can take care of their patients, make them comfortable, because, face it, most people don't like going to the dentist. So if the patient can be made comfortable because he's there getting some treatment, a root canal, crown, whatever it is, the office manager, the receptionist, everyone in the front office can make that patient really comfortable and wanting to be there and not having to worry about things because they are giving that patient the attention that they need. And face it, the offices, there are a dime a dozen out there, unfortunately, and so they can go anywhere they want to. And if a patient doesn't feel comfortable here, then they can possibly go someplace else. So they need to know that they are valued as a patient there, and that their care is top notch. And if the dental office can't do that, even if the dentist can't do that because he's worrying about his cash flow, or he's worrying about if this is going to be covered or that's going to be covered, they patient may suffer because of that in a way. So the eAssist is there to ease that burden for everyone involved and for the patient also. And we are hopefully a valued member of the team.
Yeah. And I remember the days, Michelle, when I used to stay late to do some posting that we used to get, all this mail from Saturday and Monday, and the team can only do so much. You can't keep people on the clock forever, or else your overtime will be, off the charts here. And so I, as a person, that was interested in the success of my wife's dental office, I used to stay behind and stay late and sometimes miss dinner with my family because I was trying to catch up on all of this. And then when I started getting busy in my consulting practice, I said, enough is enough. And that was the day when I think I told the story at the summit where I called and I got in touch with Michelle and I said, I really need some help here, because then one of the other things I was doing that we didn't touch on is I was taking my best person at the front desk and putting her in an office to troubleshoot claims. And what happens there? Then my collections at the front office, at the front desk were not great, and the leadership, of course, because and one thing that I'm really excited to say here that I saw firsthand at Summit is that every single person in the team at eAssist is a leader. I don't know how you guys accomplish this, but that's what it seemed. It's just like everybody has an agenda, and that agenda is that message to Garcia. What are your thoughts?
Exactly right. Even the best office manager, or even the best receptionist, can only be, one person. They, if you can clone them, that'd be great. But they can't do everything all at the same time, and that's what eAssist is there for. Because we have a team member to post payments. We have a team member that checks patient portion. We have a team member who does the claims aging and appeal. So there's someone who is taking care of every aspect of the front office admin, so that that office manager doesn't have to, and she can go home and spend time with her family. Or the receptionist, doesn't have to spend hours and hours doing those kinds of things when she could be doing something else, because there is so many different products that eAssist has. We have insurance verification, patient portion, we have dental accounting, the claims aging, posting payments. We have all those different things that we can do for the office to relieve this and to relieve those hardworking office managers and hardworking receptionists, so that they can spend time with their family and do things that are important, because they have lives too. So they need to be able to do that, and we do we make that possible.
Wow, that was a lot in there. That was so valuable, so much valuable information, Michelle. This has been such a great episode. All the episodes, you all bring something unique to the interview that it's just a great pleasure to be involved in it. But we talked about the special assignments. We've talked about how eAssist has turned your life around, and how has it done some great things for you, working at home, spending time with your family. We've talked about dental claims. We've talked about everything. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you may have turned an office around? Just a little story. You don't have to mention the office name, but maybe something that our audience will say, "Wow, this company just does it all."
Well, recently, because of my involvement with the SOS team, I've been able to go in to check the over 90-day claims. That's usually the worst part of it, and clean up as much as I possibly can. And the dental office sees the results from what I have been able to do, but the other team members also. So we all pulled together, and we just worked as hard as we possibly could to turn that around. And we've been able to save offices because of that. And I think our retention percentage is much better now. I think Dr. Anderson mentioned that in his closing comments at the summit. And when you have people saying, "Oh, Michelle, I can't," you were such a godsend. You've done things for us, and we thank you so much. Can we keep you now? We want you to stay on our team. And I obviously have other things to do, so I can't do that. But it just feels so good to be appreciated, and to know that you are there and be able to help out and to get people out of this little rut or whatever. And it's been really great. It's been a blessing. It really has been.
This is just an incredible amount of information that we have been sharing today. I think we're going to have people listening for the first time, because our placement and searching for podcasts, for our podcast, is actually increasing. And so if anybody that knows how the internet works, the more we search, and our e-assisters out there can actually help us with that. If you're listening to this and you want a doctor to hear this episode, or any episode that we've had, any of the last 10 episodes, please share it. It's basically just taking the link of the show and dropping it in an email. You can also drop it in an email to someone that, if we're still recruiting for great, valuable people, you can do that as well. There are so many ways that you can share this episode and this podcast with people that do need this kind of help. Also, I want to share the contact information for eAssist. If you go to dentalbilling.com or eassist.com, that is one way you can navigate our website and look at all of the services that eAssist offers. And also the phone number is 844-327-7478. With that, Michelle, I don't know if you have anything else left in the tank. You have given us so much. Anything else you want to tell our audience?
No, I just wanted to say that eAssist is a wonderful company. It's because of Dr. Anderson's vision and his want to make his own practice better, and because of that, he'd say, hey, if I could be helped from this, I know that other dental offices can be helped from this out there, and that's kind of just where it started from, and it's been growing ever since. It's a great company to work for. It's a great company to be out there and help others, and we do it with just big smiles on our faces because we can see what we're doing for others out there, and it's just been a great experience for me for the past 2.5 years.
This is great. I didn't have this podcast to listen to when I was searching for eAssist for our office, but I'll tell you, if I had this to listen to, I would have called right after your interview with me. So with that, Michelle, I want to thank you for all of this information that you've given me, because I've learned so much from you today, and all the information that I know you made somebody's day out there today as well.
Oh, I hope so, Andre. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
All right. Well, stay in touch. I'll be following you on all our emails. But if I don't talk to you, have a great week.
Thank you. Same to you, and have a good weekend.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.